Oh, inject this into my veins. Give me some more of this. My goodness. Those who didn't catch the news conference need to go watch the Bears news conference because wow. Wow. This is going to be short. I'm just going to give a quick recap. I got a lot going on today. I wanted to break more of it down, but I'm just going to give you guys my quick recap for those who didn't see it. For those who did, share the excitement with you guys because that's what this is. Bears community. Love being a part of this with you guys. Yes, a lot of people have mentioned I did rebrand the channel for the first year and 4 months of this channel. It was called Adam Mason, but I always had the branding of Bear Down Sports. The logo was always Bear Down Sports. Just I don't think it's a big move, but a lot of people are mentioning. But it is officially called Bear Down Sports now. So yes, that's official. You guys know who it's with. I'll make sure I always put who it's with. My name's Adam Mason. Thanks for tuning in. 5 people spoke at the press conference, and guys, this feels like new Bears. It feels like 2018. It feels like special. It does. And I'm not just jumping on the hype train because one of the commitments I made this offseason was not to jump on the hype train. I'm not going to give any record predictions this year until we get into the season and see how this team performs. I'm not going to do that this year. That's one thing I said. I'm going to stick more to analysis and really try to break down the team and where we can move from here. Not try to say this is Super Bowl window. It's, hey, the first goal should be to make the playoffs and then to win the division. And then you open the Super Bowl window from there. So try not to be unrealistic. And goal number one, step number one should be to make the playoffs. All right. First off, we started off with Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson. And right off the bat, some people were commenting in there that Ben Johnson looks irritated to be there. He looks pissed off. What's wrong with Ben Johnson? And Ryan Poles is sitting there giddy and happy and like excited. So I kind of caught a screenshot of that. But to me, it looked like driven, tired, driven. But Ben Johnson looks like that guy you do not want to piss off. Like, like if you're on the team of the Bears and you're in that meeting room and you did something wrong, I can see Ben Johnson literally ripping your head off. Like he's the guy that's going to hold everyone accountable. And I love it. And he's not a man that's like, listen to me and do what I say. I'm going to lead you and you're going to follow me. And if you don't, then you're going to be off this team. And that's just the vibe that I'm getting from Ben Johnson. He's no nonsense. And I think he's exactly what we need. Ryan Poles is very excited for what's going on. Obviously, this is refreshing. They asked several questions regarding the trades of Thuney and Jonah Jackson, and they even were upfront and said, no, we didn't expect those to happen. We weren't planning on them in free agency, and then they just presented themselves. And props to the salary cap people on this team that helped us put it together and work it out. We got a game plan for this. But one thing that was really clear, I'm not going to go too deep on each one of these conversations, but one thing that was really clear to me was they have a clear plan to have vets that they've worked with that are established, that have respect but intelligence, and they're going to pair that up with some youth. So I would not expect a lot of depth to come on the offensive line from free agency. I'll bet you that will come from the draft. We kind of alluded to that, but with Thuney and Drew Dahlman and Jonah Jackson, I really do think that they plan on pairing up some youth behind that to develop behind these guys. And the nice thing was these guys said openly how willing they are to be a part of that. Be a part of that, to mentor young guys and to bring that leadership to this team. And there was a couple really solid answers from Jonah Jackson and from Thuney. Those two, right before they spoke, Ben Johnson spoke about having intelligent offensive linemen. And right after he spoke on that, these two got up there and they were clear, they were precise, they were concrete. I mean, they were just really, really solid in their answers, but exuded confidence. Like these guys were like, hey, that's our job. No matter who the quarterback is, this is our job. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get it done. Jonah Jackson, when asked, if he has any hesitation, because they did clarify right off the bat, it will be Jonah Jackson at right guard. It will be Thuney at left guard. They asked Jonah Jackson if he had any hesitation moving to right guard. He said, my first start in the league was against the Chicago Bears at right guard. And more than anything, he was just praising Ben Johnson left and right about the time he spent with Ben Johnson in Detroit and how comfortable he was And one of the key things he pointed out was that Ben Johnson caters the offense to all the players and not just one player. So he alluded to very hard without saying that it's not just about the quarterback, but Ben Johnson is a genius at taking this whole team, knowing the strengths and building the team around the team and focusing on the entire team approach and what they're good at. So I don't think it's just Ben Johnson saying, okay, Caleb, you're it. We're going to focus this just around you. It's, hey, I understand this offensive line. They're full of intelligent guys. And Ben Johnson also, that was another thing he mentioned was the intelligence of his offensive line is really important to be able to have them be able to have different schemes, to be able to process different variety of things and not be stuck on one thing. And that was just really impactful as he said that, because you think back to previous Bears, like certain guys couldn't, I like Coleman Shelton, but he couldn't pick up certain stunts. Like he didn't see that coming. Or even Matt Pryor, even though he filled in really well, it looked like he was lost on certain plays. These guys are going to bring an immediate impact front to this team where you've got guys who understand the game of football, who have the experience being Pro Bowlers, all pros, who understand different scheme sets, who have been with different teams, and they're juiced and ready and they understand. So this is really exciting. All right, last but not least, yeah, I do think Ben Johnson's exhausted. He looked tired. He did look tired, looked exhausted, but I have a little different take on that from the beginning of this. I said I really think it's more of a no nonsense, pissed off, I'm in charge, I like taking things to the max type of thing. Like I really like the vibe I'm getting from Ben Johnson. All right, Grady Jarrett. Those who watched the press conference, Grady Jarrett is the effing man. He is the man. Like the constant thing he said 2 or 3 times in there is, you don't know me yet, but you will. And it was very in your face. Like, I am driven. I am dedicated. I am going to show you guys who I am and why I'm here. And I mean, anybody who watched it has full confidence in Grady Jarrett at this point that he's going to come and he is going to impact this team. It wasn't an arrogant swag. Like, it was funny because he was at one point talking, about sacks and quarterback hits. And he was saying, my job is to disrupt the quarterback. And he literally said, some years you'll get 25, quarterback hits and only 3 sacks. And some years you'll get, 8 quarterback hits and 6 sacks. What's more important, disrupt the quarterback 28 times or 14 times and get 6 sacks? Like, a very valid point we've talked about several times on this channel, but it's just super impactful of his mentality of, my job is to get the job done. And you don't know me yet, but you're going to know me. You're going to know the name Grady Jarrett. I'm here for a reason, and I am going to be impactful. And he still had that same mentality of helping the younger guys, helping the team, helping, everyone be a cohesive unit. So there's nothing about this press conference that screamed hype, though. It was not just, oh, hoorah, rah, we're doing these pieces and these pieces. It was the attitude by every one of them, especially the coaches, especially Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles, was, we know we just hit a home run. We know we just slam dunked this free agent or this offseason so far. We don't have to tell you that. We're going to show you that. And we are silently confident, but we are very excited about what's coming forward in the future. So this is fun. This is fun for me. This is not going to be long. I'm just giving a quick recap there. This is not going to be an hour-long video. Sorry, guys. This is 10 minutes long, but I just wanted to get on here, share my excitement with you guys about this team. The intelligence of Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson scream off the chart. These guys, they're going to be here to impact this team. I don't know how long. I hope we get extensions done. I hope I hope we draft guys behind them that can develop and become just like them. But Grady Jarrett on this defensive line, this is something we've neglected for a while. We still need to do some things to beef it up. Dio, I got to get it right. Dio Odengbo, and, another defensive end and another defensive tackle. And maybe they'll bring along Zach Pickens. Maybe I'm wrong. And that's really the 4th guy on the defensive line. Maybe I'm overshadowing some of these guys. But Grady Jarrett alone was just an absolute slam dunk by this organization to go and get him and to make him a centerpiece of this defensive line. I think he's going to start right next to Gervon Dexter. I think that'll be your 1-2 punch, and maybe him and Andrew Billings on certain sets, and maybe Andrew Billings and Gervon Dexter on certain sets. But those 3 will be the primaries. and I hope we draft a really good one. You know, maybe an Omar Norman. I'd love Kenny Grant. I have a feeling they're going a different direction in the first round. I love Kenny Grant. I love Walter Nolan. I'd love someone else, but we also need to, you know, there's several things to do. There's really a lot of time to get into that. But today, as of today, the big news at Halas Hall was just this press conference introducing these three new guys, hearing from Ben Johnson, hearing from Ryan Poles, the confidence they exuded. Ben Johnson did look exhausted. He looked tired. He looked like this is wearing on him, but not in a way where it's, you know, it's a negative thing. It's getting business done, getting it done, and on to the next step. All right, Erica, we'll hit a couple of these real quick. Erica Levine. Those who haven't seen, I put out several salary cap videos. I'm not going to keep doing that relentlessly. I think people have gotten the point that where we are with the salary cap, that we're kind of exhausted on salary cap. We did backload Dayo Odengbo's contract to make room for this. So we have, you know, before the draft, we've got, you know, 10 to 20 million. After the draft, we've got 10-ish million. It's going to depend on how these last contracts are structured. Drew Dahlman's was a straight line contract. We don't know on Grady Jarrett yet. I do not see any big moves being made. I don't know if they'll happen before or after the draft, but there have to be a couple more pieces added, like wide receiver 3 or 5 or whatever. You know, we need another wide receiver, possibly even 2 more wide receivers. We need another cornerback. We need another safety. All those pieces that we need will be addressed through the draft, and then possibly after the draft with some low-level signings. But no, I don't see any more big name signings happening. This is it. I mean, those were big signings that we had happen. Drew Dahlman, Grady Jarrett, Dayo Odengbo, and then the trades. Those were all big things. I mean, that's an impactful offseason. Those 5 alone, that's more than you normally get in an offseason. That's big. It might not have been the names that we were looking for, the names that we as fans thought would happen, but those connections with Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson, that's something they spoke of. Ben Johnson's connection with Jonah Jackson, Ryan Poles' connection with Joe Thuney. Those were important things. And those things, they make these more valuable for organization and franchise. I think it's really valuable what they did and how we got. I mean, those are 5 big signings. That's a bigger offseason than we normally have. All right, let's see anything else here, and then we will. The new mock will be nice. I'm getting there. Give me just a minute. I'm getting there. I don't know the details on where they are with that. They were technically free agent signing. Those who don't realize, Grady Jarrett could be signed right before free agency, so he was technically. I mean, he's still a free agent signing, but he was cut, and so his could be processed quicker. Those other ones should be processed within the day. So, were you aware the pick 148 we got from the Panthers? That's fake. It was a mistype on, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's a mistype on the website that was shown on. All right. I think that's it. That was it. That was a quick update, quick refresher, quick breakdown for you guys. I'm very excited. Hope you guys are very excited too. We'll get to more very quick. I got more coming for you. So with that, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Till next time, Bears and bear down.